Okay, so we are trying something new this week. So Instagram, we're live on you, and then Facebook, we think, yes, we are live on you too. So we have got two different platforms going because as we found out last week, Instagram is no longer doing the same format where we can upload. So we are going to try to do our weekly reality segment live on both platforms. So bear with us if we're looking at both screens because this is super strange. Anyway, welcome. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, so you haven't seen Q in a while. I think it's probably been many months since she's been on camera with us. And then you saw and met Will last week. But he wanted to come back on this week because he loved it so much. So, or maybe that's a lie and that's just a story that I'm putting to it. I don't know. Anyway, so let's start out with our giant announcement. And maybe it's not that giant, but to us it feels pretty special.
I think it's pretty giant.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Pretty big deal.
So what are we doing, Q?
We are going to do our very first room makeover giveaway.
It's true. So there's something that I've always wanted to do that says I was an interior designer before I got into real estate, for those of you who don't know. And then I worked for a big staging company in the area. And through this, networking with other stagers and designers, some of them offer a room makeover every year. And so I was talking to Q a couple of weeks ago and I was like, I really think this is the year that I want to do this because we've gotten to a point where so many people recognize us as being with design and being with and being in real estate. So we're just like, let's do it. So what are the rules? Tell them the rules.
Well, you have to be in the DMV area. You have to submit to me, so Kawana, QAWNANA at EastonIvyHomes.com.
And we're gonna put this out there. So
We'll put this out here after. Yeah. You have to submit, basically submit to me a write-up of someone that you'd like to nominate.
Or yourself.
Yeah, of why you would love to have a room makeover. And we are going to basically provide up to $2,000.
Yep. $2,000 up in paint, furnishings, accessories, whatever that happens to be for you guys. How it'll go is that Q and I will come in, we'll have an initial consult with you, talk about your hopes and dreams, what you want for the space, and then we will work together on a design plan.
Try to make it come to life for you.
Yeah, make it come to life for you guys. So if you want to gather your thoughts and think who you think would be a great candidate for this, then please send over that. Like I said, we'll put the instructions one down below, and then also we'll put it in the story too.
Yep, and their newsletter actually went out last week on this. So if any of you get our newsletter, go and take a look at our newsletter because it's going to be in there. We're also going to be putting some other social media stuff out. So keep an eye out for that. And also, we're going to be announcing our lucky winner on what's called Giving Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Giving Tuesday. Because we love to give. I nominate all my past clients, Jennifer Lynn says, which is...
Yeah, so if there's anyone that you just want to bless or you feel they need blessings, please nominate them.
And to be very clear, this does not have to be for somebody who is buying and selling a house at all. This can be for just somebody who you think needs it. They don't need to be an owner as long as they need help in a space and they want it. We want to bless somebody this holiday season. So Jen says Elizabeth Johnson. So there we go.
Also, just for full disclaimer and disclosure and full transparency, we're gonna be recording this.
Oh yes. So that's the other caveat to that is we do want to do a before and after. So as long as you are okay with being on camera and talking about the experience, we would love that very much.
This is going to be quite entertaining.
Yeah, we think so. Just think about your local HGTV stars.
We're getting so many submissions already.
I'm excited.
I love
it.
Yes. Jennifer was quite serious with
Please submit these to Q.
Yeah, please submit these to Q for sure.
We'll send all the official rules and everything, so that way you can officially nominate these folks.
For sure.
Yeah, but yes, we will be announcing this on Giving Tuesday. So basically, we will not be doing really on our Wednesday.
It'll be on
doing
Tuesday.
it on Tuesday, Giving Tuesday, and I'm really excited to get those in. So get those into me as soon as possible.
Brenda says, she says, how about your local friend? Can I get a makeover? I know there was stuff in my house that made you cringe the other day. She's so wild. You are hilarious.
So
I promise you, whatever Nicole saw yesterday did not make her cringe. We have seen worse.
That's true. It's like,
So that's our newest exciting project, and our goal is to really try to do this every year moving forward.
This is whenever we say it's our first annual, it's going to be the first of many.
First of many.
Yep, and the reason why we're doing this is because we are going to be launching some really cool additional features in January of this coming year. So this is kind of going to be our segue into our launch. So exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. Stay tuned and make your submissions. All right, so we will get right into it. So, fun things that we learned this week. Let's start with Q. What did you learn this week?
Well, I learned that Amazon is bringing a fulfillment center to Stafford, Virginia.
Maybe our deliveries will be faster.
I was thinking, what does that mean for us? It means our deliveries are going to be faster,
crossed.
And it also means that value is going to continue to grow.
Correct.
For those of you who don't know, Stafford County is one of the fastest growing counties in this area, just based on occupancy and home values. So it's no surprise to me that they are bringing in additional commerce down in that area.
Yep.
So excited for that. I'm also excited that maybe this means we'll get same-day deliveries, even more same-day deliveries.
Talk about
now.
first world problems, right? Like 24 and 48
now.
hours is not fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
Although it would be nice. Do you think if they're going to expand what's on our prime if we have that location?
I think
close
so.
to us?
I would think so.
I would think so.
And
So
I would also be curious to hear from my friends in South Carolina. They got a fulfillment center a couple of years ago, so I would see how that
Isn't there one in
them.
Springfield?
I don't know. Who knows? Who out there knows?
Does anyone know? Is there one in Springfield? Do you get fast deliveries? Do you click a button and it's at your door same day?
Well, I mean, we're only 15 minutes from Springfield, so I feel like we'd be affected. And
well, maybe, not with 95. Maybe if they have an easy pass. If they're taking the hot lanes, we'll get it same day. If not, we'll get it in a week.
So it's going to be a 200,000 square foot station in Stafford County. The address is actually 25 Strategy Drive in Stafford for those of you who live in the area. And apparently, that's some job opportunities as well.
For sure.
That's some great job opportunities. 100 full-time and part-time associate jobs at this station.
That's awesome. I hear Amazon's a great employer, too.
I hear they are as well.
Awesome.
But that's what I learned this week.
I love that. Now, Will, what did you learn this week?
Oh dear. If you have a property that's on well and septic, always do a well and septic inspection. But I never thought to ask how many wells are on the property. So we had we have a house under contract. We had an inspection. Inspector goes out there, and lo and behold, there's not one but two wells, and one of the wells is functioning. One of them needs a lot of work, but they never disclosed that there were two wells. So now they have to repair both wells, but they're both connected to the house, and the owner has it labeled as well 1 and well 2. So it's actually twice as expensive for him because there's two to maintain, but it's also good because now he's got a backup well if anything happens.
Well, that actually goes into our client story. So full disclosure, I'm the client.
Yeah.
So I'm the client. I'm buying this beautiful property because I'm always looking at the internet. I'm always looking for unique things that I see pop up. And then a couple of weeks ago, this beautiful A-frame in Stafford popped up, and I was like, oh my God, I have to have this house. And so we went down there. There's a 4-car detached garage, which we're also going to use for some staging space and all that jazz. Anyway, so we go down there, and it's been like the craziest journey through this house because it was a house that was built back in the 70s. Incredible piece of property. You've got flowering fruit trees all over it.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And then it's on well septic propane and cable internet of all things. I never thought that I would be.
Well, and it's got satellite is the only service provider, or Dish Network or something. I don't know. I don't deal with satellites, but I guess now we do.
That's now we do.
But yeah, so then the internet's connected to the dish or something. I don't know. It's like Middle Earth.
It is like Middle Earth. Anyway, so this house is interesting enough. So we send the well inspector out there, and then the craziness starts happening. So yes, Well, first we send back like, all right, well, they need to do some risers, they need to cement the rings around it and do some things to be able to get the groundwater out of it. No big deal. They need to replace some of the electrical.
Sorry to cut you off. I'm so excited about what this crazy homeowner did that I just want to share it. Is that okay?
No, I know that's the reason actually why I'm saying this.
Yeah.
So like, and we need to preface this by saying, whenever you are under contract with something, you are like, it's very strict unless previously agreed to, that you're supposed to have professionals do the repairs. So we sent over the repair list. They agreed to fix everything. Yay. And then yesterday we get the craziest phone call from the well contractor.
Yeah, so the well contractor says, the homeowner called and he told me that he wants me to disconnect one of the wells and he wants me to take it off the report. So that way it shows that it was never attached, so that way we don't have to fix it because it's a non-functioning well.
It's listed with the county. If you do that, if you disconnect a well, it's a safety issue, right? You're supposed to put cement in
Also,
it because it becomes a
super
giant hole in the
shady.
wall.
Super shady.
Well, that, everybody's got their own opinion. This is like literally a mountain cabin on 3.5 acres in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. So I'm not surprised. The guy's been living there forever. He seems like a really nice guy. I think it's just a lack of understanding because his agent is somebody who works for Zillow, and every single time we'll talk to her, she says, well, I'm just so busy.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on. I'm just so busy. I'm like, great.
And then when the well inspector called the agent, he said that her initial response was, look, I'm really busy. I have no clue what's going on in this transaction. Here's the homeowner's phone number, and then just passed it along.
Cool. Okay. So this is great. So then we find out about the well. It turns out one of the wells is it hasn't been functioning for 20 years. Maybe, but we're sending the well inspectors going back out there today to go take a look at this thing because it may or may not actually be functioning. Who knows?
And then the homeowner took it upon themselves. This circles back to what Nicole was saying, and make sure that like it says that a licensed person is supposed, whatever the field is, in this case a licensed well technician, would need to service this. So instead, the homeowner decided that he was going to treat the water himself.
So whenever you do a well inspection, you test for bacteria, chloroform, or something. Anyway, you test for things in the water, and it's not uncommon whenever a house has been sitting vacant that you're gonna need to treat the water. This is normal. What is not normal is how much stuff he put in the water.
So Preda says, I saw a lot of well and septic on the Eastern Shore. You're going to get a kick out of this, Preda. So listen to this. He poured 4 gallons of bleach directly into the water, and then a pound of shock.
Like pool shock.
Pool shock. Now, we found out, so we did a little homework, and we found out that usually they don't put bleach in water because it will kill you. But
if you were to drink it right away.
Right. So if we would have gone into this house directly after this, so we did the math. He put in enough stuff to where that should be a 3,200 gallon tank.
Oh, man.
Which it's not. It probably holds 150 gallons max.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is after talking to the well guy, is like, this is like it. While it is insanity that this would happen, it's not insurmountable. So all we have to do is run the water for 6 to 8 hours, and then it should clear itself out of the system because it's just going to run through the pipes and everything else. I was like, I will tell you that we will have extraordinarily clean pipes after this. Okay. So I'm like, this is nuts. Also, don't wash any clothes. There's a lot of things that cannot be done until this gets cleared up, but they're going out to retest the well today.
Do not drink the water.
Yeah, and you know what? We would have never known about any of that because he didn't release the information to us, and the only reason why is because Will decided to call the well contractor directly because we hadn't heard anything. We just heard that it was going to be repaired, but then they also wanted to stop doing repairs because they told us that he tested the wrong well and a bunch of other stuff, and it's just
we were told another company already treated it.
Yeah,
and then the well guy calls and he's like, "No, that was a seller."
Yeah. So anyway, buying houses is a lot of fun, and
it's an adventure.
It's a lot of fun being on this side of the transaction. And this is also the reason why I chose not to represent myself in this, because can you imagine being the buyer on this? Like, yes, I'm a professional. Yes, I've sold hundreds of homes, but can you imagine being the buyer on this and finding it out? Like, I want to lose my mind, but instead, I lost my mind on my agent, and my agent is handling it, and he can remain and have professional decorum on the other side of this. So, it's
Also, other agents seem to like me for some reason.
Yeah.
Very personable.
He's a personable guy. He's a likable guy. Anyways, guys, it's like this entire transaction has been a very interesting experience, and I just want to get to the finish line at this point because the house is incredible, and I can't wait to have it and start work on it. So anyway, that leads us into the market update. So I feel like we keep saying the same thing over and over again, but what do you feel is going on in the market right now?
Things are slowing down a little bit to where now you can negotiate for you can actually have home inspections. You can actually get your clients in some situations like you might even be able to get closing costs, especially if you're in a condo. I have a client who's looking for condos in Falls Church, Arlington, McLean area, and there's so many sitting on the market right now. It blows my mind.
Okay, so you say about the condo thing, and this is actually one of the points that I wanted to make about condos. So, wrote an offer on a little studio apartment in Arlington this weekend, in Alexandria, is right outside of Delray. And the condo had been sitting there for 8 days, and then the day that we write, two other people.
Law of attraction.
Yeah. Two other people decided to write, and we all wrote the exact same offer. And then whenever the agent comes back to all of us and says, "Okay, well, what do you like? You all guys, all have the same offer. What do you want to do?" My client came back with an escalation, and then they all came back with an escalation. And so we ended up being in a multiple offer situation and lost. So yes, while it is this theory that condos are slow, it also depends because people still want to win at the end of the day.
You should still put your best foot forward. Absolutely.
Yeah. But everybody did. I mean, they all wrote strong offers. They were like, waive did option to void for the home inspections, all this jazz. So it's just, it's interesting out there. So don't think that just because it's a fall market, you're just gonna be able to go in and ask for the moon, because you certainly will not. But
it's still competitive out there.
It's true.
You guys say it's slowing down, but I mean, on this side, I feel like you guys have been busy.
Well, it actually is our busiest month.
There's
today.
still a lot of people buying and selling homes, but I would say slowing down in the sense of listings are it's also, there's micro pockets, obviously, but it's instead of selling in hours of listing with multiple offers and everyone waiving inspections, it's kind of gotten a little bit more to normal, to where if a house sits for 7 days, buyers aren't saying, well, what's wrong with the house? How come it's not under contract? So it's closer to normal. And actually, the normal that we had before, it was almost like the generic 30-day mark, 30 to 35 days. If a house is sitting on the market for 30 to 35 days, that's when you start asking, well, what's going on with this house? Why hasn't it sold? That's now probably closer to 14 days, I would say.
I agree with that. Well, that's my market update. It's like, I keep seeing all these people say, it's like, oh, the market's slower. I'm like, y'all are drunk. It's not slower.
But people still want turnkey. People still want houses that are ready to move in. If you list a turd and it doesn't show well, you don't take professional photos, you don't have your house right, you have clutter everywhere, it's still not going to sell. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. I actually had that conversation yesterday. It's like, yes, you live in a very hot neighborhood. Yes, your home is lovely. But unless this thing shows like a model, unfortunately, the target demographic of who's buying right now, which is the millennials, they are expecting it to be perfect. Yeah. And unless you're buying a flip, unless you're buying something that needs a lot of renovation, which is what I'm doing with my little cabin out there. It's like it needs a whole lot of love because it's a 1974 cabin. So I understand that it's going to take some significant time and energy to be able to do something with that. But people who are spending $700,000 on a house, they want turnkey and they want it to be ready to move in whenever they get there. And so that's why we do what we do, which is help you. Like, we offer a concierge package. And so in that concierge package, if you choose that package, Q is a listing coordinator, and she goes through and works with all the contractors to make sure everything is done. We pick all your flooring. We pick anything that needs to be upgraded. We talk about selections. Yeah, paint selections, all of that. Talk about your ROI, and then we PM it. We project manage it the entire time. So that is a very popular package right now, especially in the condo world, and even in the single family world whenever it's really needed. So, speaking of full service firms, that brings me into what happened last week. If you guys saw the Instagram story, Kendra and Will were sitting down here, which was hilarious. Well, I thought it was funny.
I did not find it hilarious, and I'll tell you, Kendra did not find it hilarious. No, we had. We're under contract. Kendra had a house that was getting ready to hit the market, and I think last week we told you the beginning part of the story where we got under contract. Well, fast forward, and I'm representing the buyers, and we do the home inspection, and we did a home inspection with option to void only. For those of you that don't know, that means that you can do the home inspection. It's pretty much for informational purposes only, and you're looking for big ticket items. You're looking for make some, safety issues. You don't want the house to catch on fire. You don't want there to be an active leak. You don't want a broken truss and the, whatever. So my clients go through this house, and the home inspectors putting blue tape on all the windows, and they say, well, what's this? And he says, oh, well, the seals are broken on probably half of these windows.
Mind you, this house is not old.
No, this house is not old. It's a Lennar home, I believe. And my clients freak out. And I'm like, what's happening? Like, this is an eyesore. Like, it's a broken seal, but they're double paned windows, and the HVAC and everything, like the homeowner was completely transparent on how much her bills are, and it doesn't seem to have yet affected anything.
And broken seals are whenever your windows are just a little bit foggy. It's cosmetic.
It's just the foggy glass. And the mind-blowing part is they could see the windows. They looked at the windows before they put in an offer. They saw that they were foggy, but when they had a home inspector come in and tell them, oh my gosh, these seals are broken, they lost their minds. And that's when they were like, we're going to void this contract. This seller needs to replace every single window in the house.
Oh, man.
Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you're insane. So I told them, I was like, look, you don't have the ability. So obviously, like, I'm going to protect my client's best interests. And I have to present, I have to educate them. At the end of the day, they're the decision makers. If they're not comfortable moving forward, then they're not comfortable moving forward. But I have to let them know, hey, like, they only took this offer because you did it for info purposes only. So you need to budget appropriately. That's why we're doing the home inspection, so you know what you're getting yourselves into. Fast forward, they said, Will, thank you so much. You've done an amazing job informing us, but we're going to void this contract if they do not fix these windows. So the sellers did not want to fix the windows because, unfortunately, it's an elderly lady. This is a 55-plus community, and she doesn't have the ability or money or time or energy to replace all these windows. It's just a big, big ask, especially at this price point. So me and Kendra, there's a Lennar book. And my clients and we found who the manufacturer was for these windows. Kendra called the manufacturer. The manufacturer said, guess what? These windows are under warranty for another 6 years.
Nice.
And we're like, what?
Caveat, it does not transfer to the new buyer.
It does not transfer to the new buyer. So the seller does not have the time, energy, or ability to, put in an application. This application is pretty overwhelming, and you had to fill out one application per window, times that by 11 windows. You had to fill it out and put if it was an upper window, a lower window. We had to, Kendra went to the house physically and took all the measurements.
Which, let me just
for
tell
every
you,
individual window.
Massive shout out to Kendra. Whenever I tell you that girl
Shout out,
is,
Kendra.
it's that girl is absolutely remarkable with this. And this is this is a difference between what makes you a great realtor and a good realtor.
Yeah.
Is that
100,000%.
I was like, I'm on the phone with her, and I was like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm going down here to measure all these windows. I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I've got the measurements, I've got the tape. And she literally went down there and spent several hours getting all of the measurements for sashes. And she could really be just a window expert at this point. But
Yes.
her taking the initiative, nobody asked her to do that. She went above and beyond.
Yeah.
So shout out to her.
Shout
you
out,
win
Kendra.
you win agent of the year
So-
in my book.
No
sis.
kidding.
That was incredible.
So that's another point I want to make too is the difference between doing a lot of transactions and not doing a lot of transactions isn't just working with clients. It's going above and beyond like this, like Kendra did, making it work and going, through hell or high water. We're going to figure this out. We have someone who wants to buy the house. We have someone who wants to sell the house. Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
So she made
got
it
all
happen.
the measurements and she submitted
Yeah.
everything to the warranty company, and sure enough, they agreed to.
Me and her
they sat here and filled out all the forms.
So you need agents that work together for a
Yeah.
common cause. So me and
Yeah.
her came to the office. We're here till
Midnight.
Yeah, till midnight, filling out each individual application. She submitted them the next day. We got approval the next day, and lo and behold, they covered all of the windows. We have the receipt for it. They even said, "Look, the order's in." Blah blah blah. The homeowner prepaid. There was a small price,
like $300.
price. It was like $300 or
shipping.
something. but that's total, not per window, and got it completely covered.
Yeah. So needless to say, everybody's very happy in this transaction. You've got Will's clients who got the windows that they wanted. You've got the seller who's being able to move forward, and you've got two agents who are able to come together and work for the common cause, and that's making everybody happy. Because if the seller or if the buyer wanted to void the contract, they would have voided the contract, and then they would have moved on, and everything would have been fine. But instead, they wanted the house, they loved the house, and they just wanted new windows. So it's
that's taking teamwork makes the dream work to a whole nother level.
Yeah,
For sure.
Get you an agent who wants to earn their
Yeah.
commission.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Kudos to Will and Kendra.
It just drives me crazy whenever people are like, oh, I'm so busy and I can't do this and I can't do that and I don't know what's going on with the transaction. I'm like, well, then this is the reason why teams exist, guys. Like,
Leverage.
And it's just be great and be great for your people. You are handling the largest transaction that people have in their entire life. Be great for them, and blessings will come to you. Anywho, so I think that's really it for our reality this week. Thanks for spending time with us, and remember that we are doing this beautiful room makeover for you guys that we're going to be announcing on Giving Tuesday, and we're going to put that information on Instagram, Facebook, and we'll be sending out a separate email as well. If you're not on our mailing list, go to the East and Ivy Facebook page and sign up.
Yep, please.
Before we
please
sign
submit.
off,
Yep.
tomorrow's Veterans Day.
Yep.
So don't forget to thank Yvette tomorrow and all weekend long.
It's very true. Yeah. Thank you everybody who has served our country and continue to serve. We love you and have a fabulous rest of your week.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Instagram.